Final segment tonight. The last thing that released. So, day after Thanksgiving, they released the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, which to me was like, okay, so we're going Star Wars Holiday Special with Guardians. And so they released it, and I was like, well, I'm going to watch this, right? And apparently it's canon. Like, it is an MCU thing.
100% canon.
Right? With an interesting concept from the trailers is that they're going to go get Kevin Bacon, the magical hero Kevin Bacon, who danced to save a town and did all this stuff, to give to Peter for a Christmas present, which was all in the trailers. And you know what? I don't feel bad spoiling this thing, so if you want to run away from spoilers, run away right now, because I'm going to spoil the shit out of this. The Guardians Holiday Special. Michael, what did you think?
Okay, I will go on record to say I thoroughly enjoyed it. I went in expecting something, again, akin to like Peacemaker, that James got, like that type of tone.
Mm-hmm.
Something that would definitely fit the Guardians vibe, but be a little bit more nuts,
Mm-hmm.
a little bit more disjointed. And it was a little bit more disjointed. I knew that the holiday special, the Star Wars holiday special, was definitely inspiration. And, you know, when they were cutting to some of the animated scenes, you could clearly see that, again, the animation quality was not great.
I think that was intentional.
It was totally intentional. Again, it was an homage to.
I also liked how they bookended the animation, where at the end he's like, "You don't know how that story ends." Like, also giving you some really good context for Yondu.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. And I enjoyed getting to see Drax and Mantis kind of take the forefront, and like them interacting back and forth, because their interactions in the movie were always fun. And, you know, especially the sequel, Guardians 2, gave us a good amount of the two of them together. But like this special, you got to see like Mantis really not taking Drax's shit.
Yes.
And I loved that you get a Mantis that is, you know, she's confident enough to push back at Drax hard in a lot of ways. And I love the fact that, you know, they showed that rapport having been built over time.
Yes.
You know,
going back to what you were talking about during our trailer segment, I'm glad. So this special did not focus on Peter.
Mm-hmm.
This show was not about Peter Quill. It was. Chris Pratt was barely in it, comparatively, for being the subject of it. Mm-hmm. This was about Drax and Mantis. And mostly about Mantis.
Which was a wonderful... I mean, again, when you consider that this is canon, I love that they made the choice they did with Mantis. You know, the familial connection.
Her being Peter's sister. Like, she's an offspring of Ego as well. Yeah. So, sorry, spoilers.
I liked that they did that, because, again, it was hinted toward, but never really explicitly explained.
I also thought it fit the Hallmarky Christmas vibe at the end when she tells Peter finally. Mm-hmm. So at the beginning of the show, she's not telling, for everybody who hasn't watched it, she's not telling Peter that she's his sister. Peter has no idea. Mm-hmm. And at the end, when she finally tells him, Peter's like, "That's the best Christmas gift I ever could have gotten." In a very Hallmarky, like...
Yeah, it's very much so.
It's perfect. But it worked.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was cheesy, but it worked.
I agree 100%. I totally felt like that. Again, like I felt like the vibe that they had, the musical performances I thought were fun.
Like, though the guys when they were doing that, like, we learned this song and we made this song up about Christmas, and they're like, and they're starting. Then Peter's like, "No, that's not what." And they twist a bunch of like little traditions about Christmas into weird stuff, and Peter's like, "Wait, what? No!" Like,
to speak to something that chat pointed out just a minute ago, if you go back and watch the second Guardians, there is a very clear hint that Ego is Mantis's father, because in the bevy of aliens that it shows that Ego has mated with, is one of Mantis's race.
Oh, okay. I missed
Like
that.
it's in that little. It's as they're flipping.
Yeah, I remember
through the bodies.
the sequence.
Yeah, in that sequence, one of them, has a resemblance to someone of Mantis's race.
Okay.
So I feel like that's again they hinted toward it, but they never confirmed it
Until now. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love again the musical sequence. I loved it. I loved that the music through the whole thing. Again, a James Gunn production. I thought the musical choices were very good. I loved that they delved into some old and obscure Christmas music. They used one or two like tunes that are familiar to a lot of people, but then they used a number of tunes that like I had never heard before. And I don't know, I had a lot of fun with it. And Kevin Bacon was chewing it up. Kevin Bacon was playing along and having a lot of fun.
He was having a lot of
fun. And
I liked that.
I liked that a lot.
I like how they kept referring to his wife, Takira Sedgwick. Right?
Yeah,
like where you would see her name on there. Like we are referencing the fact that he is married to Takira Sedgwick, but you never hear her or see her, but
you hear her all the time. She's on the phone constantly.
I don't know if that's actually her.
Oh, it is.
Oh, is it?
100%. It's an uncredited role. It is her.
Nice.
And I love, again, spoilers, but I love the end joke about how horrible actors are.
Yes.
Like I
the
just
whole
love
movie,
that
like, actors are awful.
Everyone just again, whenever they get a chance to like just rag on people being actors, they just dive into it.
Oh yeah.
With gusto.
Oh yeah.
Love it.
No, it was really well done. It also sets up some interesting things. So apparently the Guardians have bought Nowhere, the weird skull-looking planet. Which, by the way, once they get all the lights up, I thought it looked amazing. All the Christmas lights in Nowhere at the end when they're taking Peter Will. That was beautiful.
A really good. The reveal of that was wonderful.
It was a beautiful sequence. And then when they're all pulling the stuff, and then Nebula looks bored, she's like, "Okay, fine, I'll pull the thing." And then when they start giving out presents, and then Sean Gunn's character ends up with the meta version where he's holding a statue of himself holding his present. It was solid. Like, I was genuinely surprised how good it was. I was not expecting that going in.
I was not either. I was expecting it to be cheesy and fun. Like, I expected it to just be that. Like, I expected it to be like a cheesy Guardians Christmas special, right? Mm-hmm. And I got more than I anticipated out of it.
The sequence of Drax and Mantis in the bar, we're going to call it, for terms of services purposes, a alternative lifestyle bar.
Oh, for sure.
In West Hollywood.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And like, again, there's like so many little funny things, like when they are doing the photo shoot out in the Man's Chinese Theater, and like that the family comes up and the mom's like, "Guys, we just got a picture with God of War." Like it was.
Well, and there was the GoBot. He was like, and then it's like his family was killed by GoBot.
Killed by a GoBot. Yeah. Like, oh gosh. Yeah. GoBot's killed his family. Yeah.
No, it was.
And again, it was one of those things that I was like, Psykill? Are you kidding me? A GoBot costume? I was like, what? And then the way they played, like, again, I enjoyed this a lot. It was a lot of fun. I feel like they had a lot of fun doing it. And, at the end of it, it's an interesting, like, addition to the MCU as a Christmas special. Right?
What's really interesting is these seasonal specials, because they did the Werewolf by Night for Halloween,
which was
also canon.
I finally watched that, and I was like, I can't believe it took me this long to watch it. It was awesome
and fully canon.
Yeah.
Right. So this seasonal, like these special presentation ones, seem to be a really good format for really building into the MCU.
Yeah,
because they can make them
exactly
40 minutes.
Yep.
Like, keep doing it. Let's go. Let's do a seasonal one of these. Mm-hmm. Disney, like, it's solid. Yeah. So if you haven't watched the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special, you should definitely go check it out. It is honestly one of the best ones. And that brings us to our final question for the night, which will be part of this segment. Michael, now that you've seen the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special, what is the Christmas special you don't miss every year? What's your favorite Christmas special?
So, this is the one Christmas special that I will espouse to everybody. It's the one that I think, again, there's a lot of nostalgia involved for me, but as a kid, I looked forward to this every year. HBO, Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas. Um,
I'm
if
not
you have
familiar with
never-
this.
If you have never seen it, it is basically a Muppets version of Gift of the Magi, and it involves a family of otters living on.
So
like,
what's it called
basically
again?
Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas.
Okay. Oh, I just found it.
Um,
Okay.
It should be available for streaming on Amazon Video, on Amazon Prime. If anybody is interested in watching it, I highly recommend it. It is literally my beloved Christmas special. Like, there are a couple things I watch every year. Like, I watch The Grinch every year. I watch the Patrick Stewart A Christmas Carol every year. I love it. But every year on Christmas Eve, I settle down and I watch Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas. And every year, like, it takes me back to being a kid. Like, I literally feel like I am 10 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and 9 years old, sitting on the living room floor, Christmas, like the tree ablaze behind me. I absolutely love this special. The music is great. It's got a lot of heart. The puppetry is fun, and it's a great production. There's a lot of miniature work. There's a lot of crane shots. The puppets are great. There's a lot of marionette work that is entertaining to watch, because it's always entertaining to watch puppets trying to marionette across ice, and their little legs
Mm-hmm.
pump up and down, and there's so much to it that just touches my heart. My friends, everybody I love, I espouse to watch this every year. It's my absolute favorite.
It is a
Touches
Jim
my heart
Henson
every
production.
time.
I'm looking
Yep,
it up
it
right
is.
now. Frank Oz
It
is
is.
in it, so you get some nice stuff. I will actually have to sit down and watch this year, because my daughter, I think this would be good for her. And I'm looking at the visuals on it right now, and this is great.
And
I'd
again,
never heard of
if you-
this.
If you're familiar with Gift of the Magi, I mean, as a
concept,
story,
yeah.
right? As a concept, this is a wonderful telling of it that is very easy to digest as a kid, but also carries through to adulthood. Like, every year when I watch this, I'll admit this freely, I crack a tear every year when I watch this.
So
It's
this is your Christmas special.
this is my Christmas special. Like, if nothing else, I will watch this every year.
Okay,
What's yours, Alex?
so I have two. So when I was a child, the Charlie Brown Christmas. I'm pretty basic in this way. The Charlie Brown Christmas special was always my favorite one. That and the Garfield one. As an adult, every year, my wife knows this, and it drives her absolutely crazy every year, because I watch it at Thanksgiving and Christmas. But Lewis Black did a special for the History Channel. And Lewis Black is one of my favorite stand-up comics. I have a signed poster just above this screen that I'm looking at as I talk to you. And he did a holiday special called Surviving the Holidays, where he runs through the whole gamut from Thanksgiving to Hanukkah to Christmas to Kwanzaa to New Year's about surviving the holidays. There's a bunch of comedians in it. Bert Kreischer and Wanda Sykes and Eliza Schlesinger and Richard Belzer, and it's my favorite one as an adult, because it covers all the silly crap about just getting through the holidays, and I love it to death. It is my favorite. It's the one that I watch every single year without a doubt. Is Lewis Black's Surviving the Holidays. I bought it many years ago on my Apple TV, and I watch it every year. But when I was a kid, it was Charlie Brown Christmas, because, the sad Christmas tree. I also like the Garfield Christmas, though, where he ends up on the grandma's lap.
Oh my gosh.
At the end.
I haven't even thought about the Garfield Christmas special.
You know what I'm talking about, where he's sitting on the grandma's lap at the end, and she's just like, she needs the cat.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, because I was a big Garfield fan when I was a kid. It's probably one of my favorite Sunday comic strips. I read all the books when they did all the compilation books. All right. Chat, drop your favorite Christmas specials in there while we're waiting here. All right. So I put Christmas specials and Christmas movies in different categories. Favorite Christmas movie, Michael?
Favorite Christmas movie. Favorite Christmas movie.
Movie.
Again, I mentioned it. I think my favorite Christmas movie is a tie, and it's actually a three-way tie. It's a three-way tie for me. It is, again, I love the Patrick Stewart Christmas Carol.
You did mention that at one point.
There
Maybe
is
on the pre-show.
Yeah, there is a surprisingly the cast is solid, obviously outside Patrick Stewart, but it's a great cast. I love his version of Scrooge, and there's a spot toward the end where Scrooge, Scrooge learns to laugh. Right, he starts to laugh, and the way Patrick Stewart does that laugh, it gets me every time. Like it makes me cringe, but also completely go, that's exactly how it would happen. Like I could just imagine that's how Scrooge remembers laughing, right? So I love that. I love that to death. The production values are pretty good for when it was made. Notably, Patrick Stewart did this for years as a one-man production.
I heard about that
on the London West End, and so this was a big deal for a number of years before they made a movie of it.
Yeah.
Of course, the movie is not a one-man production. The movie is a full cast, but I mean, he perfected his Scrooge over years and then brought it to the film. My second movie is, I do love Muppet Christmas Carol for very similar reasons. I love Michael Caine as Scrooge.
Oh, Michael Caine.
I love Gonzo and Rizzo as kind of like the narrators, as the Dickens of the story. I love them, the role that they play and the way that they kind of interact with the story and the cast. And again, I'm a huge Muppet fan, so that's an easy sell for me. And then the last one, I think, is I would go to Scrooged.
We're going Bill Murray now.
All of mine are versions of Christmas Carol, but Scrooged, that movie just killed me. That movie just killed me as a young man, as a teenager. That movie, I thought that was so funny. I thought it was a great take on Christmas Carol. And Bill Murray, I mean, I love. And of course, for those in the audience that loved Marion Ravenwood in Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark, the actress also plays in Scrooged as well, as Cross's the character of Cross as their lost love.
That's a really
And Carol Kane and the cast in Scrooge.
Oh, the cast is really good. I remember Scrooge. Scrooge was. I don't think it gets enough love, and I'm a big Bill Murray fan. So
those are my three Christmas movies. And I saw chat mentioned, of course, Die Hard is out there. Die Hard to me is a Christmas movie. Gremlins is a Christmas movie.
Sorry. Recently, and I implore you to go look at this. Bruce Willis has apparently declared that Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. So we can.
Sorry, Bruce. I do not take Bruce's opinion as canon.
Oh, okay. Well, that's gonna be another one. We still have a couple weeks for Christmas, so we can have the Christmas movie debate about Die Hard in a couple of weeks.
I think that should happen for sure. Definitely, the Die Hard movies are getting a rewatch during this season at some point.
Bruce is wrong. All right, so apparently Bruce is wrong. So there you go. Where the River Meets the Sea, I haven't seen. Let's see here. Tokyo Godfathers for a Christmas flick. I haven't seen that. My favorite Christmas movies are Gremlins and Die Hard. Gremlins could fit into the Christmas movie genre. Absolutely. So I've got a couple for me. I have to be honest. I really love the original Santa Claus with Tim Allen. The first one.
I thought you were going to say the Dudley Moore Santa Claus.
No, the first one with Tim Allen. Now, again, this also dates me kind of like when I was a kid. Right? I really love that movie. And I actually watched it recently with my kid, and it holds up pretty well. So the Santa Claus with Tim Allen is definitely on my list. And my problematic choice, and I recognize and there's a lot of issues with this movie. The underlying storylines in this movie are extremely problematic, and there's some weird decisions they made in this film. But the writing and the dialogue is so well constructed that I just can't get past it. and that's Love Actually.
I have never seen that film.
The dialogue and story structure and the way the film is written is brilliant. It's really well built. The pacing is phenomenal. It drives you through all the stories. It was one of the first kind of mainstream movies that was like, we're going to tell you a bunch of disconnected stories that are all of a sudden going to be connected at the end. And it worked. And it's a Christmas, like it starts 6 weeks before Christmas. Like that's the opening, like time period. It shows you right after the opening scene. There are some definite issues with that movie. When you do a kind of a deep kind of critical analysis of the stories of that movie, it has some problems. I recognize this, and I want the audience to know that I have recognized it. But again, it's just fuck if it's not brilliantly written. Okay? And it's got a crazy cast. Alan Rickman, Emma Thompson, God, so many. Chiwetel Ejiofor, Keira Knightley. Like it's got a Liam Neeson. It's got a bananas cast. Hugh Grant. Like they packed all 22 actors that the BBC actually hires into that film. What's his name that played Watson in Sherlock? Martin Freeman is in it. Mm-hmm. Actually, so Martin Freeman's relationship in that movie is the only one that's not fucked up. Like, dead serious. This is the only one that's not a little fucked up.
I have heard from multiple people that I should watch this movie. I've just never, sat down to watch it.
It's again, your first watch through, you're going to go, wow, that was really well done. And then you're going to, sit back and be like, wait a minute. And you're going to start analyzing each of the individual stories, because that's just how you're going to think about it. And you're going to go, no, that's actually, wow, all of these are fucked up, except Martin Freeman. And everybody else is kind of shitty. Everybody else in this movie is crap, but Martin Freeman and the girl he ends up with. So we're going to be fine there. But I watch it every year because, again, the writing is just so well done. It's just, I don't know why. I just end up watching it. Violent Night. We got the new David Harbour Christmas movie coming out.
I mean, it's out.
With evil Santa.
Is it Evil Santa or is it Vigilante Santa?
I think it's Vigilante Santa. David Harbour brings bone-crushing tidings to bloodthirsty mercenaries who interrupt a family's Christmas Eve. This is from the LA Times. David Harbour wasn't always big on the holidays until he had a family of his own, and then he wanted to make a downright anti-Christmas movie. Vigilante Santa. It's a thing that's going to happen. Or that's happening now. I've seen the trailers for it. It looks interesting. All right.
Interesting is a word I would use.
Yes. Could somebody greenlight an Identical movie? Y'all greenlighting Vigilante Santa.
Is it like I feel like it's it's basically like a cross between John Wick and Nobody Santa.
Yes. That's
right?
That's how I feel about it. Yeah. All right, everybody. Well, that's our show for tonight. We gave you a nice hour and 45 minutes. Thank you all for joining us. We had a big audience tonight. Thank you all for coming in. For everybody that stayed for the whole show. For our chat, we thank you very much. If you are watching this on YouTube later, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and then like it and hit the thing for notifications. And come hang out with us. We will be back for another episode of Identico After Dark next week and another episode of Chaos Inc. on the 20th. And we're going to try and sneak in another Merry Highsmith episode somewhere in there, schedule willing. So, again, thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you, chat. Michael, thank you for joining me again.
Always happy to join, Alex. It's fun to chat with y'all. Fun to chat with everybody in chat. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it.
Michael, where can they find you on the interwebs?
Well, y'all can find me at the Redemption Podcast. That's redemptionpodcast.com, where we do a Star Wars actual play. We are in season 8. It is our last season as a podcast. And what that means is that maybe we'll do some other things that are not podcast related in the future. Who knows?
It's
But
a
for
really
right
good
now,
podcast. You also check it out.
For right now, season 8 is our last. You can also find me at Tubular Teens with Titans, which is a Power Rangers Super Sentai inspired audio drama. I play the villain Harbinger. We are nearing the close of the first season, and it is quite epic as far as Super Saiyan Power Rangers type stories go. You can also see me here on Tuesdays for Identico with the rest of our Chaos Inc. crew that I love so much.
Yeah, y'all should go. Also, if you haven't yet, we did a Mary Heisters preview episode. It is available on our YouTube right now, and you can catch up with all of our shows, Angel City Stories and Chaos Inc., on our YouTube channel or on your favorite podcatcher. We love you all. Thank you all for joining us tonight, and have a wonderful evening. We'll see you next week.